Welcome back. I am so pumped you're hanging out with us today for this brand new explainer. We're diving into some really fantastic research from NomadShe, looking at their definitive breakdown of the top digital nomad cities for women. Now, if you've been working remotely for a while, you already know the landscape is changing lightning fast. But what makes a destination not just, okay for remote work, but absolutely spectacular for female professionals specifically? Well, that's exactly what we're going to decode today using their latest data and rankings.
So, what makes a city truly work for women? This is the core question, the big hook of the entire NomadShe analysis. Usually, when people talk about remote work destinations, the conversation completely revolves around cheap beer and fast internet, right? But female remote workers have incredibly unique travel priorities. A city that genuinely works is one that fundamentally respects your presence, supports your ambitions, and honestly, just gives you peace of mind. It's a completely different lens to view global travel through, and it literally changes the map entirely. Before we get into the rankings, we really have to look at how the source defines this demographic. Because a female digital nomad isn't just someone backpacking around with a laptop. She's a serious, location-independent professional. The focus has completely shifted away from standard, transient tourism and moved towards strategic living. She's prioritizing safety, she's finding a real community, and she's securing a high quality of life over just ticking off tourist traps. That definition right there is our baseline. It means we aren't just hunting for a cool place to visit for a week, we're looking for a highly functional place to live, build a business, and genuinely thrive.
Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, the female nomad priorities. Second, evaluating safety and community. Third, global standout destinations. Fourth, the ultimate top picks. And finally, your next remote home.
All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the female nomad priorities.
These are the 4 big pillars that set the stage for how every single city on this list got ranked. And notice how incredibly practical they are. Safety and security come first, and frankly, that's non-negotiable. But right behind it is quality healthcare access. Because let's be real, if you get sick abroad, you need to know for sure that you're in good hands. Then we have strong local communities, which really help combat the isolation of solo travel. And finally, reliable infrastructure, because you simply cannot run a successful business on a spotty power grid while freezing mid-Zoom pitch. These 4 pillars are the absolute foundation of a successful nomad experience for women. Moving right along to section 2, evaluating safety and community. When you break down the weighting of their evaluation framework, something pretty incredible stands out. Safety takes up a massive 35% of the total score, and community hubs take up another 30%. Together, that's almost 2/3 of the entire ranking criteria. Cost of living still matters at 20%, and Wi-Fi speed is 15%. But this just brilliantly illustrates a massive paradigm shift. 10 years ago, cost of living and Wi-Fi would have easily been the biggest factors. But today, female nomads are basically saying, you know what? I'll pay a little extra and I'll deal with slightly slower internet if it means I feel completely safe and deeply connected to a community.
Which brings us to section 3, global standout destinations.
The research highlights a few mid-tier destinations that do a brilliant job of balancing affordability with a really strong emerging remote work culture. Take Taipei, for instance. It boasts a fantastic safety index of 85 out of 100 with a pretty moderate monthly cost of $1,200. Then you have Prague, offering incredible European charm, solid safety, and a community score of 7.9. And then there's Medellin. It has a slightly lower safety index at 65, but it completely knocks it out of the park with a 9.2 community score and a very low monthly cost of just $900. It really goes to show that there's no one-size-fits-all here. It's all about finding the specific blend of these metrics that works for your personal comfort level.
We really need to pause on that 85 out of 100 safety score for Taipei because it highlights exactly why it's considered a hidden gem for female nomads. When you have a safety score that uniquely high, it dramatically reduces the cognitive load of traveling solo. You aren't constantly mapping out the safest routes or stressing about walking home after a late-night co-working session. Having that specific metric, so highly rated, completely transforms the city from just a fun place to visit into a genuine, highly functional remote home. Okay, getting to the best of the best. Section 4, the ultimate top picks. There's this fantastic quote from the NomadShe community that absolutely hits the nail on the head regarding these top-tier cities. It says, "Finding a city where you don't have to look over your shoulder means you can finally put all that energy into your startup and your friendships."
That right there is the qualitative proof of why these top destinations are so highly regarded. It isn't just about hard data, it's about the psychological freedom that comes with it. Because when your safety is guaranteed, your creativity and your connections can actually flourish. When we look at the absolute top 2 spots on the list, it's fascinating because they offer completely different vibes. Take the number 1 spot, Lisbon. It's totally tailored for bustling networking. It's this vibrant urban ecosystem where you're constantly meeting founders, going to tech meetups, and really aggressively growing your business. On the flip side, the number 2 spot, Canggu, offers this incredibly serene beachside focus. It heavily prioritizes wellness culture, deep work by the ocean, and mental health. This comparison is huge because it proves you can absolutely choose the environment that perfectly suits your current work style and phase of life without having to sacrifice your safety or a great community. So, how does this actually play out when you land in a top-ranked hub like Lisbon? Well, the source outlines a remarkably seamless integration process. Step 1, you arrive and settle right into clearly defined, vetted, safe neighborhoods. Literally no guesswork required. Step 2, you connect instantly by joining one of these several female-focused co-working spaces. And step 3, you thrive by tapping straight into an established local expat community that already has mentorship programs and social clubs up and running. It really shows how easily and quickly women can transition and start thriving literally from day one. Which brings us to our final section, your next remote home. So, based on all these structured insights we just explored together, which of these top digital nomad cities for women is your remote journey going to take you to next? Are you going to prioritize the bustling, fast-paced networking of an urban hub, or are you leaning toward the serene wellness of a beachside retreat? The data is all there, the communities are waiting with open arms, and the choice is entirely yours. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I will catch you in the next explainer.